Hello and welcome back to another Omniheroes video. In this video, we're just going to have a look at the Protectors synergy. So, first things first, what does the Protectors synergy do? Well, we will have a look and just see. So, if you have two Protectors on the team, defense of synergy mates increases by 5% every round. That means the two Protectors that you have on the team will have their defense go up by 5% every single round. If you have three Protectors on the team, it means the defense of all allies, that's the big change, goes up by 5% every round. 4 Protectors means increased defense of all allies by 10% every round, and when received an attack, there is a 30% chance to repose it with a basic attack that deals 50% damage once. If you do have 5 Protectors on the team, increase the defense of all allies by 15% every round. Not as good as Strikers, but when you do receive an attack, there is a 30% chance to repose it with a basic attack that deals 100% damage once. So can be very, very strong, especially if there is a unit that does something specific on their basic attack. When Lancelot performs a basic attack, he additionally applies 2 stacks of corrode on all enemies. Just something to keep in mind. So I'm going to jump in, build a team, and then we'll take it from there. And here we are. So we've just jumped back in. We've built our team, and let's go through our Protectors. So first things first, I want to discuss Emily. Emily is not a Protector, but she does help the Mystifiers synergy greatly. That's the reason that we've got her on here. And Emily has deployed the limit of corrode stacks increased by 5, and if you have her runes here, as you can see, I've got her half red. If you do have full red, increase the corrode damage of all allies by 100%, but we've got it at 65%. And at the start of battle, Emily applies 5 stacks of corrode to all enemies. Very good. Plays very well with Gaia, who is the next one that we're going to look at for the Protectors synergy. So Gaia is a very, very powerful unit. I would say probably the best for you for a starting pick. The reason for that, the reason that I would choose Gaia over Elisha in this particular instance is because of the ease that in which she can build up. So applies 1 stack of corrode applied by allies, which means you just effectively get +1 onto the stacks of corrode. Gaia increases all allies damage boost by 10% and damage reduction by 0.6% up to 100 times. So you can get up to 1000% attack, and you can get up to 60% damage reduction if you have built up Gaia enough. So you're looking to apply as many corrode stacks as possible in order to proc Gaia, and it's much easier to apply a corrode stack than it is to get a crit, which is why I choose Gaia over Elisha when I first start a new account. I then go ahead and choose Elisha, Dahlia, all of the good stuff. Now we are going to move on to Lancelot. Lancelot is readily available throughout many different tickets throughout the game, now that he's been out for quite some time, but what we need to have a look at is what he does. So Lancelot, with his heavy spear attack, uses his heavy spear to attack enemies, dealing 300% physical and doubling the number of stacks on the target. So that is only a single version of Minotaur's passive. Lancelot swings his heavy spear to attack all enemies, dealing 108% and applying 2 stacks of corrode as well. So again, corrode is a big theme for the Mystifiers Protectors. Now, when Lancelot is deployed, increases the corrode effect by 200% for all allies when allies successfully apply Phantom Illusion or Soul Devour, which you won't be doing on Mystifiers. But if you were to pair him in combination with Wu, with Hades, with Aphrodite, they will do tremendous work. Now, Lancelot additionally applies 2 stacks of corrode to affect all enemies. And when Lancelot performs a basic attack, he additionally applies 2 stacks of corrode to all enemies as well. So again, you're looking for as much corrode as possible. He also, when an ally successfully applies Phantom Illusion or Soul Devour effect on enemies, it increases the damage reduction for all allies by 5% for 3 rounds. So can be very, very powerful. Now, Bastet is a long-standing member of the community in Protectors, but she didn't really have a linking partner until Gaia and Lancelot were both released. Bastet uses, so this is her ultimate. Bastet calls on her partner to attack all enemies, dealing 562% magic damage for 1 stack of corrode the target has, the damage is increased by 10%, up to 300%. So the more stacks of corrode, the more effective Bastet's going to be. Bastet uses the Mystifier's synergy to cast a Cat's Claw and attacks 3 random enemies, dealing 270% magic damage for every 1 stack of corrode the target has. Again, we increase the damage dealt. Now, at the start of battle, if the debuffs on the enemy team exceed 30, including corrode, something a lot of people don't really get, but corrode is a debuff, Bastet and the ally with the highest attack will both have the ignore shield effect when dealing damage for 1 round. So it can be very, very strong effect that, but it only triggers at the start of battle, not at the start of each round, which would be immense. But when Bastet is deployed, 75% chance to double the number of corrode stacks applied on enemies. So again, it's all about getting those corrode stacks in. And finally, we have Percival. Don't really need to talk about Percival altogether too much. Percival tosses tons of potions and sacrifices 30% of his current HP to attack an enemy. Percival summons 4 tentacles, sacrifices 20% of his current HP. So by the end of round 2, Percival is down to 50% HP. Not great. And the lower Percival's HP, the higher his magic damage. Gains 25% magic boost at 20% HP. It's not great. And yeah, it is what it is. He is a protector. I did need to include him. So let's go through and let's see how well this team performs and what it does. So we apply our 5 stacks of corrode with our 5 mystifiers on the team. And then we'll apply 5 more stacks because Emily increases that stack limit and also applies those 5 stacks of corrode. If enemies did not have Holy Shield on the team, they would be dead. As you can see, Lancelot goes straight down because we are going up against reflectors and we've not had a chance to build up our corrode damage, our defense from our protectors synergy. Again, can be very, very strong, but we are currently up against Reflect, which is Doom's worst nightmare. Always has, not Doom's, Mystifier's worst nightmare. Always has been. As you can see, Percival goes down. We do have our Holy Shields applied, which is fine. We are applying all of these stacks of corrode and we're doing quite a bit of damage. And that is all thanks to Gaia. I think she's the strongest protector in the game and Bastet to do reasonable amounts of damage, I would say. 14 million to these guys. Very, very strong. But that is how the protectors work on the Mystifier's team. So let's jump into another team and let's see how we go. Okay, so we are back and we do have even more protectors. So we do have Hades, we have Leandra, we have Elune, and we have Themis, all protectors, all on the Valiantist team. So you can run Themis and Elune, but I wouldn't recommend it, primarily because they're just kind of subpar units, if you know what I mean. Like they're not absolutely fantastic standout units. Elune does your single target damage and reduces defense on enemies on her ultimate, and Themis can potentially pop off by killing an enemy. So what Themis does is, including if you have her runes, she will keep attacking based on the number of kills. So let me just pull Themis up here. And I'll just show you what I mean. So she does ultimate damage, 225% physical, not great. She also applies 50% damage boost to herself, stacking up to 10 times. If the target is killed, the skill will be cast again, dealing 562% physical damage to all enemies. So if she kills somebody, going to be a good time. But if she doesn't, it's not going to be great. Themis turns into a blur of slashes and attacks for a single frontline enemy. Again, single, not great. And applies 1 stack of defense reduction. Is what it is. Themis applies 1 stack of defense reduction on all enemies after killing her target. So again, she's all about applying that defense reduction. Her runes really do help her out quite a bit. When Themis uses a basic attack or a skill to kill an enemy target, she has a 100% chance to cast a basic or the skill 1 more time, dealing 100% of the skill's damage. Then that goes up to 120 and then finally up to 150% additional damage. Elune we'll move on to. Elune is okay. I don't run her very often. I've got her maxed out, but I don't run her very often. Elune soars into the air, turns into a wind blade to strike the enemy, dealing 250% physical damage, and applies mark and 1 stack of defense reduction on the enemy with the lowest HP. Marked units are attacked first, so if you've got a target that does single target damage, like for example Themis, very good combo in the early game. Elune and Themis, but later on does fall off. Now, deals 100% physical damage and applies 1 stack of defense reduction on a single enemy unit. So it's all about reducing defense. Elune applies Onslaught to all allies for 2 rounds after an ally kills a target. Again, Onslaught, increased physical damage boost by 50%, cannot be stacked. The cannot be stacked bit really is a bit of a detriment to Elune. Now we will look at her runes very quickly. I do have her half red runes. When the defense reduction effect stack limit is increased by 10 stacks, which is what we're all about on this team. Each time Elune takes action, when an ally team's total number of kills is higher than 2, she applies 5 stacks of defense reduction to all to all enemies. So it can be very effective if you get those kills in, but it's just getting those kills in. Now, Leandra is a very, very powerful tool, and it is primarily for this skill. When Leandra is alive, the death... No. This one. At the start of each round, Leandra summons 1 Radiant Crystal onto an empty allied slot and randomly devours 1 summoned creature before taking action. Inherits 50% stats, attacks single target enemy, dealing 50% physical damage, can summon up to 6 maximum per battle. Upon successfully devouring, Leandra permanently increases her own attack by 2.5 million up to 50 million and applies 2 stacks of Holy Shield, prioritizing devouring the enemy's summoned creatures. So, what does that mean? It means if an enemy has a summon in this spot, like Janna, for example, will summon in this spot, Leandra will devour that one first. Doesn't have to be on your side, just has to be on the field at that time. Now, the extra here that gets summoned, most of the time that's going to get killed. No two ways about it. But if it doesn't, if you can protect it, Leandra will keep providing you with Holy Shield for the entirety of the battle. Now, we have Hades as well. Hades, really, really strong protector, but also a really strong unit in general. So he does 540% physical damage, strong. Hades, 216% physical damage to all enemies, very strong. After Hades is deployed, Valiant's synergy heroes increase their damage reduction by 35% and can execute targets with HP below 35%. You do not need any of your runes. So with a rune passive, this is what it means. When a Valiant synergy mate attacks a target with less than 20% HP, has a 100% chance to execute. And in your here, if you've got your 5 Valianters on the team, the start of battle applies 25% damage immunity. That goes up to 35%, even if you don't have 5 Valianters on the team. So all of your Valianters will get that 35% damage reduction with thanks to Hades. And you will also, even without a full set of relics for your Valianters, will also execute. So let's jump in. How far are we in? 12 minutes? Flipping heck. I do waffle on sometimes, don't I? But there is a purpose for it. And we are explaining all of the different units on the team. So we get our first couple of hits in. We've not removed any holy armor, but that is what Leandra is really, really good at, is removing that holy armor. As you can see, we've not devoured anything just yet, and hopefully Leandra will take action before the enemies do manage to kill this guy off. Hades does Soul Devour as well. That was part of his second passive. I didn't really go through that. But the Soul Devour effect, every 4 rounds, you will steal one of the enemies. And they do not come back unless you are up against Phantoms or up against Avengers. But they do not come back, which is really why Hades is such a powerful unit, especially in Foggy. Recently, with the most recent changes, if you steal an enemy unit and then you take them to the grave, then Hades, they will not come back in the next round. So again, very, very strong. Now this is a very good showing for Hades. Again, really, really powerful. Leandra works really well with Hades as well, with the Deviant synergy, and Themis here. Hopefully, there we go. So we do get the kill. Unfortunately, we did take out enemy Sylvan here, but we get to demonstrate why Themis is very powerful, can take out a lot of enemies, but Hades just, he is spot on. So I'm going to pause and let's jump into another one. And here we are. So we've jumped back in, and this is the Ethereal Protectors team, we have Amaterasu, one of the most recent units to be released, the third unit in last season, in Season 8. We have Wukong, who is a fantastic addition to this team. We have Katrina, who does basically the same thing as Amaterasu, so it's going to be shield, shield, shields, and then Karnak as well, who provides healing for the team. So let's do a quick breakdown of each of the units. First things first, the most common unit on the team would be Katrina. Katrina applies shields, so when Katrina is deployed, the defense limit of defense reduction stacks increase by 5. After dealing damage, 50% chance to apply 3 stacks of defense reduction, and then has a chance to freeze as well, 33% chance to freeze. But it is this passive that people know Katrina for the most. After an ally lands a crit, Katrina applies shield effect equal to 50% of her own attack to all allies for 2 rounds. Really, really strong effect, and can be very, very powerful if you have her runes. Her runes, once a crit rate of all allies exceeds 100%, every time Katrina takes action, she'll grant 1 stack of crit boost to all allies. When Katrina is deployed, it increases the shield effect. So it works very well with Amaterasu, who fortunately is also another protector. And what we'll do is we will have a look and compare Amaterasu with Katrina here. So first things first, Amaterasu permanently increased the entire team's HP by 50%. Really strong, especially because we're building up defensively with our protectors. When Amaterasu lands a crit, she applies shield, 300% of attack to all allies. Now this is a bit of a weirdly worded passive. Amaterasu permanently doubles the entire team's crit damage, absolutely fine. 50% of her damage dealt is converted into her shield. This doesn't mean just her. I know it reads that way, I know, but what it means is when an ally deals crit damage, 50% of the damage dealt is converted into their own shield. So if we didn't run Katrina, we'd be able to see this. If Wukong gets a crit, Wukong applies the shield to himself. If Karnak gets a crit, he applies the shield to himself. If Amaterasu gets a crit, she will apply the shield to herself. And that is basically how it works. And then finally, we have Karnak on the team. When Karnak is deployed and his ally lands a critical hit, there's a 100% chance to heal the entire team, providing healing equal to his attack, or 50% of his attack plus 3% of the target's max HP. That's a really, really powerful effect. And then this is his final passive. Whenever Karnak is deployed, the limit of crit boost stacks is increased by 5. Whenever he does land a crit, grants 100% chance to apply 1 stack of crit boost on all allies. So the more crit damage he does, the better off we'll be. So let's jump in and let's see how this team functions. Now again, I've not really tried Katrina and Amaterasu on the same team, typically because you don't really want to run Katrina in this spot. You want to run Eudora in this spot for your Ethereal's team, but we are building up our crit, as you can see, building up crit damage. We are building up our attack and HP with thanks to Elisha, and the monkey is doing the business. So I didn't really go over Wukong, but whenever Wukong attacks, or whenever a switch incurs, or whenever he kills an enemy, Wukong will do these basic attacks. So as you can see, Wukong has done a lot of work there. So what I'm going to do is just run through Wukong very quickly and just demonstrate why he is very, very powerful. So he doesn't do very much with his ultimate or his active skill, but it is really this. After Wukong or an ally kills an enemy, they will trigger the swap effect 1 time. After Wukong triggers the swap effect, the number of basic attacks hits increases by 1 up to 10 times, which means that if, say, for example, you do 100 damage on your basic attack, then Wukong will do 200 once this swap effect has been triggered, up to that 2,000 damage. So effectively, Wukong can do that 2,000 damage if he's built up enough. If you are doing 100 damage every single time, or sorry, 1,000 damage, whatever it is. The point is that he builds up and he builds up whenever a unit dies, so he is very, very strong against Avengers. He also has a 33% chance to negate damage done, and this, whenever Wukong triggers the swap effect, Wukong and the swapped ally gain 1 stack of Holy Shield. Wukong performs a basic attack. That's what we just saw in the previous match. Wukong uses a basic attack. There's a 50% chance to dispel 1 buff from the enemy. Holy Shields, normal shields, attack up, HP up, defense up. All of those things can be removed by Wukong as well, and each hit does it. So he can remove up to 10 stacks or 10 buffs from a single enemy when he does his basic attack. So let's see this team one more time. It should be relatively quick, considering that we are using Elisha on the team. But we are, every time we get a crit, Katrina's going to apply shield. Every time we get a crit, Amaterasu is going to apply shield. Every time we get a crit, Karnak is going to allow us to heal and build up. And every time we take out an enemy, Wukong is going to do what he needs to do, as you can see. So we do trigger Ocean's Maw here, and then we'll trigger the swap one more time with the Gourd. Works perfectly with Wukong. And then we double the number of buffs as well, which is why Wukong is doing so well here. So again, very, very strong showing from Wukong, doing 100% of the damage. Bear with me, I'm just going to pause. I'm going to jump in to another team. Okay, so we've moved on to Glorians. Now, Glorians have 3 protectors altogether. Do we have any more? Nope, we don't, unfortunately. But we do have Gwyn. Gwyn is an oldie but a goodie. He is very, very strong, and I've recently got his runes available. So Gwyn slices through the enemy's soul with his giant scythe, dealing 300% magic damage. If the target has 6 stacks of defense reduction, then the additionally applies 100% leech rate, and if the target has 12 stacks, it gets 200% leech rate. So leech rate, in case you don't know, it allows you to, the damage dealt, you heal that back. So it can be very, very effective, especially with the Grace of Hunters. And again, applies 3 stacks of attack reduction on the enemy. Now, when an ally is attacked, Gwyn applies 1 stack of attack boost on the ally team. Very strong. He doesn't do very much else, to be honest. But what you are how you are supposed to run him is with Lily and Leah. So let me do that for the purpose of this video. I think Audrey is a better unit in that position. But for now, what we'll do is we'll use Lily and Leah and Talinas. These 3, Lily and Leah, Talinas and Gwyn, come as a combo. And the reason for that is because of Lily and Leah's passive. So Lily and Leah's passive down here, when Lily and Leah are deployed, the limit of defense reduction stacks is increased by 10, and the attack boost stacks is increased by 10, so we can get up to 15 stacks for both Gwyn's passive and Talinas's passive to kick in, and it works really, really effectively. Now the other unit, one of the other units on the team that is a protector is Marina. Marina is Old Faithful. She's been around for quite some time, but primarily supposed to be run with Nawi. Now, basically, she stuns, or she has a 50% chance to apply stun to 3 enemies. If she has 6 or more attack boosts, there's a 50% chance to apply stunies for 2 rounds. So effectively, you can keep going as long as you've got those attack boosts, which works very well with Gwyn and Lily and Leah. It works. You're gonna be able to stun a lot of people. Now there's a 100% chance to apply reflect reduction. She's effectively a counter to Dooms, and when Marina is deployed, she increases Nawi's tribal fortitude skill trigger to 8 times. Again, we're not running Nawi on this team, but that is the purpose of Marina, is to primarily run alongside Nawi. Now we do have the newest unit to the roster, the most recent unit released, that is Bahamut. She still looks absolutely fantastic, but what Bahamut does for her ultimate damage is 405%, not too much. 205% to backline enemies, that does go up as well. Hold on. And what do you know, as soon as I start talking about Bahamut, my wife appears. She was getting some strings, so yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, every 3 rounds, Bahamut deals magic damage equal to 200% of her max HP to all enemies, and has a 50% chance to apply Tremor. Tremor is effectively the units do not do what they're supposed to do. It is units cannot take action. Triggered abilities of units taking action do not take action. What I mean by that is, even if you taunt Aphrodite, even if you stun Aphrodite, even if it doesn't matter what you do to Aphrodite, she will still steal one of your units when she attacks. When Tremor is applied, she no longer does that, which is why Bahamut is going to be an absolute counter to Aphrodite and to all of the other units available as well. If you get that Tremor, it can be very effective, and you just need to look out, if you're looking for this a visual effect, you need to look at the units that have the head down or the bowed or whatever. You just see unit bow, they can't take action that round. Really, really strong. Now, Bahamut permanently increases max HP of all allies by 15 million just right off the bat. Decent. That is very decent. And has 20% chance to apply Tremor at the start of each round. That goes up to 40% if you get her up to 9 stars, which I will, hopefully, by the end of the season. But that is the Protectors on this team. So let's go ahead and jump in. And let's see just how well we do here. So we are looking for the Immobilize effect, which still does apply. Even though you go up against Glorians, I believe it can still apply. I'm just looking for it at the moment. No, so it hasn't applied yet. I don't know if it can actually. Don't know if it affects Glorians or opposing Glorians anyway. But as you can see, every time we do attack, we're getting physical and magical defense buffs. So are the enemies, because we've got 2 Talonasses on the team. We also, every time we're attacked, we increase our attack stack limit as well. So Gwyn here should increase the leech rate of all of our team, and Bahamut to do some absolutely massive damage there. Yeah, it's just crazy. Now Gwyn not doing altogether too much, but has increased his own leech rate as well, so very, very strong. And as you can see, the leech rate for the rest of the team has gone up as well, which is why we're healing back whenever we attack. So that is Talonnass finishing things off here, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Bahamut to do the most, of course, so let's go ahead and jump into another round, and let's see just how effective it can be against a Phantom team. So we've got 3 Phantoms on the enemy team here. We've got Merlin and Sylvan as our as our Dooms, and then we've got it's just sort of a mishmash, but it's more Verdiant synergy than anything else. And I don't think I'll be able to get to a Verdiant synergy video. Sorry, just had to burp. But I don't think I'll be able to get to one of those. It's a lot of effort, I tell you now. It is a lot of effort. But maybe one day. Maybe one day. Keep pestering me. So as you can see, we've increased our attack. Now, defense, we're already maxed out at the moment. We do get shielding from Lily and Leah and Bahamut here to do a lot of damage, or would have done had they not had Holy Shields. Very, very strong. Marina here to stun, potentially, if they didn't have the Unstoppable effect. And Talonnass here would have stunned another 2 times as well, so for another 2 rounds. Now, we do get the dodge here from Lily and Leah, which allows us to increase our shielding, which hopefully should allow us to survive for long enough. But we'll go ahead and see. So we do get our attack increase here, and Bahamut to do a fantastic job. That is Bahamut's secondary passive, by the way, what we just saw. That's how she was able to wipe all of these enemies out, is because she did damage equal to her HP, or 200% of her HP, which is currently 2,000 million damage for me anyway, and that only goes up and up and up the more stars that you get her. So we see Marina with her ultimate doing 5,000 million, but still not out damaging Bahamut. She is just putting a lot of work in for this team as well. So we'll go ahead and pause here. We'll make another team, and then we'll take it from there. And here we are, Little Knight Boji as our only protector on the Avengers synergy. Sad to see, but I get it. Avengers aren't about increasing defense. They're all about doing as much damage as possible and coming back from the dead. Protectors do not. They don't fit into that scenario. So, yeah, Boji, unfortunately, I'm not going to go through him. If you want to read him, go ahead and do so. But, again, you're not running him in hell. I tell you that now. And here we are. So this is the final set of protectors. You do have Madeline and Lamia as your protectors. You can also consider Baal a protector because it does say so on his card. But I would never run Baal typically unless you were going for memes. But you do have Lamia and Madeline. So let me just go through Lamia and Madeline relatively quickly because they both do quite a bit actually. So first things first, Madeline's ultimate deals 540% physical damage to 2 random enemies, which actually is quite a bit, and applies 3 stacks of reflect boost on all allies for 3 rounds. Very, very strong. Madeline fulfills the role of Dragoness, dealing 243% physical damage to random enemies and applying 2 stacks of reflect boost for 3 rounds. We're seeing a theme here. At the start of each round, Madeline summons an empty Drake into an empty allied slot. She can summon up to 6 Drakes per battle. Each Drake inherits 50% of Madeline's stats and has 40% magic damage reduction. So very, very strong specifically against other magic damage users. This Drake won't attack. Still, when an ally takes active damage, they have 50% chance to deal 100% physical damage to all enemies. Now, when Madeline is deployed, Doomsdayers increase their reflect rate by 40%. When Madeline is alive, she reduces all enemies damage dealt to backline allies by 50%. So can be very, very effective if you are struggling to keep that backline alive. She's very, very good at doing so. And also increases reflect rate by 40%. Powerful, powerful stuff. Now, bear with me. And here we are. So Lamia. Lamia is a tough one. And I think that Lamia is going to be the key to beating the Nightmare 100 boss as well. But we'll get to that in a couple of weeks, or maybe a couple of days. Lamia summons a behemoth, dealing 360% magic damage to the direct target. The direct target, choose an enemy with units in the same position number as your priority. There are no targets that meet this condition. Go for the default enemy unit, which is position 1, typically anyway. Now, Lamia summons a shark, dealing 120% magic damage to a single backline target, applying 3 stacks of reflect boost on all allies for 3 rounds. You also have each time Lamia takes active damage, there is a 30% chance to trigger Sanctuary, up to 10 times per round. And then Lamia additionally increases reflect rate by 25%, standard for Dooms. When Sanctuary is triggered, Lamia has 100% chance of counterattacking with Abyssal Breath, which is this one, and it does 50% damage. Now, if you have Lamia's runes, what you can do is Lamia's ultimate skill damage increased by 150% each round based on Abyssal Breath release, up to a maximum of 10 times per round. This effect is only active for the current round, which means that you can get up to 1500% damage damage for her active, her ultimate attack, which hopefully you should be proccing quite often. So let's take out Baal. We don't need to see that. We will put in Arthur, we'll put in Ophelia, and we'll pop in Dahlia as well. Why not? And then we'll go ahead and change up these relics. Pop you in. We will pop you in, and then we'll pop you in as well. Let's go ahead and change these up so we can trigger our Sanctuary. Not you. We'll go ahead and pop you in. And then we'll jump into battle, and then we'll finish off Nightmares 67 through to 70 with this particular Protectors team. Again, it can be a very, very strong Protectors team. The build itself, or the actual synergy itself, for me, it's not the best. I would say it's probably goes Monarch, goes Phantoms, then it goes Protectors, and then Enchanters, I would say. Am I missing somebody? I think I'm missing somebody. Monarch. Phantom. Protector. Enchanter. Striker. Striker's 3rd. Protector's 4th. Enchanter's 5th. That is the order in which I would rank, if I had to. That I would rank the synergies here. Now, we are seeing a lot of damage output by Dahlia and Arthur here, but Lamia also has the potential to do a lot of damage as well. And the reason for that is because she just needs to be attacked 5 or 6 times, and then she is killing an enemy, whoever is in front of her, as long as she doesn't miss. That's the problem with Lamia, is that she can potentially miss. It is what it is. So we can see Ophelia pop off here, and then we should see Madeline do her thing. So this is the Abyssal Breath. This pops off every single time she gets hit. Fortunately, we can do double damage here. So as you can see, damage does scale up very, very quickly for Lamia, and very much out damaging Madeline here as well. The reason that Lamia is not on the front row at the moment is because I need the switch between Dahlia and Arthur to do the work that we need to get past these stages. But again, you can run Madeline and Lamia together. In fact, I would probably suggest running those two together as 2 protectors on the same team. So let's go ahead and pop in these two in the say front. I'm not going to. Let's do it this way. And then we'll see, hopefully we'll see Lamia pop off in this one. But we'll see. So she's doing quite a bit already, actually. So there we go. That's what I mean. Every time Sanctuary is procced, she will do this ultimate, and she's going to start to do a lot of work. We just needed to get hit, actually. So we get the miss, we don't get the Sanctuary proc 3 times in a row, unfortunately. But we should start to see it next round. Potentially, if these guys aren't already finished off. Not bad. We'll take it. We'll take it. And they do get finished off, unfortunately. We did see Lamia proc, and we did see the amount of damage that she can do. That is why I think that Lamia is going to be sort of quintessential in order to beat the Wukong boss without Cleo, without Dahlia, without all of the you know, the super fantastical units, or the S tier units, or the S++, whatever you want to call it. I do think that Lamia is going to be the key. Now, if you do have a couple of copies of Lamia, absolutely fantastic. But the easiest way in order to build up that damage, so as you can see, Lamia is already doing massive amounts of damage. We apply this Sanctuary here, and we do get the ultimate attack in. Unfortunately, like I said, as long as she hits, she's going to do a lot of damage. We do get a Sanctuary again, so this is 300% damage to enemies. And we see the Sanctuary proc again. This is 450% damage. Sanctuary proc again, and now we're up to 600% damage, I believe. We just need these guys to attack one more time. Unfortunately, goes to Ophelia, is what it is. But that is the power. Now, Lamia has been reset. She needs to be attacked 10 more times in order to build up what we've seen previously. But again, Lamia putting the work in as long as you put her in the right spot. So this is Nightmare 70. And we should see a victory here. I hope so anyway. But we should see Lamia pop off as well. Here we go, so we're applying this Karmic Fire. We do get Lance to trigger as well. And then we'll get Magatama. That'll do a little bit of damage. Not super effective. But as you can see, doing way more damage than the rest of the team currently with Lamia. Do not sleep on Lamia. She's a fantastic protector. And as you can see, we nearly did Talanas in there. Unfortunately, Monarch synergy has saved Talanas in this instance. So potentially we might see a bit more of Lamia. No, we will not. We will not. Yeah, they're just doing too much here. Dahlia just doing too much. It is what it is. Is Ophelia going to finish things off? No, because we get to see more of Lamia. That's it. She just wants to show off. So, as you can see, easy as pie. She's doing so much damage. She does a lot of work in there as well. And now finally, Madeline, who's not really been showcased this much, but again, she's primarily there for the your 6th Dooms, which is something that I didn't really talk about. But if you have somebody in this extra spot, it also contributes to your reflect rate for Dooms, which is why Madeline is really important for Dooms. Just something to keep in mind. But that is it for the Protector synergy. Looks like we're going to be moving on to Valianta's breakdown next, so stay tuned for that. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you have a fantastic day, and good luck in whatever you're doing.